To set up facility booking widgets, navigate to Marketing and Online Booking Setup. You'll note this screen here: Online Booking Settings, Administrative Booking Notifications, Client Booking Notifications, etc., and then Booking Widgets. The majority of the settings here apply to program registration, and we'll go into more detail again when we do program registration. However, for the sake of facility booking, these settings are not necessarily always relevant. Let's review them anyways. Filtering options. The filtering options do not relate to facility booking. You'll note that gender, age, service, location, and facility, as well as instructor, are toggles here. We can pass by this, but keep this in mind when we do program registration. These filters do take effect. Booking restrictions. Again, these settings relate to program registration and not facility booking. Enforce gender, enforce rank, enforce age, etc. all the way through. In addition, there is a hold timer. The hold timer allows you to lock a position in a program so that no one else can have it while you're in the registration process. This again applies to courses and single booking events, not facility booking at this time. However, this will come with future development. Under the administrative booking notifications, you'll notice that there's an email event instructor, email event assistant instructor, and course class appointment notification emails. These again are related to program registration. However, the email facility supervisor, this does relate to facility booking. Under the facilities, manage facilities, and you will note that there is a field called facility supervisor email. If this is enabled, then that email address will have a notification of a reservation when performed through the widget. This does not apply to admin reservations. If this toggle is turned on, the email facility supervisor email will only go out when an online reservation is made, not on the admin side. In addition, you can also provide additional emails through here. Simply enter the email, and if there's multiple emails, put a semicolon between them. This means that any email down here, as well as the facility email supervisor, will be notified if there's a reservation that occurs online. Under the client booking notifications, you'll notice that there's a client booking confirmation for both courses and appointment bookings. This again relates to program registration. However, there is also one for facility reservations. If this is enabled, you can also customize it, pushing this customize button. Then an email will be returned to the client with a confirmation of their reservation. If you click the customize button, you'll note this. This is where you put the body of the message. And you will note that the information appears down below. This is a basic, to-the-point confirmation email that allows people to know the who, what, when, and where the reservation is made. When this is complete, simply click the Save Template. Note the formatting up here for formatting the language here. This email is only customizable to the point where you're adding the information below. If this does not meet the system requirements of the organization, simply disable the feature. The analytics area is where you can place analytical tools such as Google Analytics code so that you can evaluate your marketing campaigns. This is an advanced HTML tool that is not supported by PerfectMind. However, we do give you the ability here to enter that code if your organization uses this in their marketing process. Once you've set the minor settings here, which is primarily email facility supervisor and facility reservation confirmations and analytical tools, we can proceed to the widget itself. You'll note that PerfectMind will come with a default widget. However, if you want to create your own widget, simply select New. Generally speaking, the default widget usually applies to program registration. It's also the widget that appears online when an individual client clicks the Schedule button. A widget can be for facility booking, program registration, or both. Let's take a look at that now in more detail. Let's select New. This is where we set up the individual widget. You'll first note the widget properties. We have the ability to activate, turn it on or off. If it's turned off and a person goes to the link, they'll simply receive an error saying that the widget is not set up correctly and to contact a system administrator. The widget name. The widget name is the internal name in which you wish to call this widget. So if this widget is for facility booking, meeting rooms, we could say facility booking meeting room. This lets us know that this is a facility booking widget for meeting rooms. The widget title is public facing. So we may not, in this situation, we may not want to say facility booking because that's already the process they're going through, but we may want to say meeting rooms. The next area you'll notice is the widget type. We have two types, embedded and linked. An embedded widget is a widget that is placed within your current website page. A link is a website link widget that links to another page from a button. The most common business practice is that the link is used when you don't have the ability to customize your own website or there is limited HTML knowledge within the organization. The embedded is the preferred method because it takes the widget and places it directly in your organization's website. Let's take a look at a few examples of each. First, let's look at link. If you select link, you're going to get a code that looks like this. Now notice these zeros here. That's because we haven't saved it yet. It hasn't generated this link yet. As soon as we click save, this information will be populated. But what you need to do is simply take this, copy it, and paste it as an HTML button onto your website. This is again using the link. So let's take a look at a website here. So you notice here we have tennis courts, tennis court rentals, and we have two buttons. Sign up for tennis classes, sign up for tennis courts. Well, let's select the sign up for tennis courts. So what happened here is by selecting this button, which has the link code inserted into it, it opened up a new tab that takes us to the facility booking widget. We have the advanced facility booking tools here on the left, which allows us to select dates, ranges, time ranges, the length, as well as the day of the week, and then the various location selections here. On the right, we have facility maps for tennis courts at various locations. And then if we choose one of these, we'll go into the list to see what tennis courts are available. And again, we have facility map here. That is an example of using the link. If you select embedded, you're going to get embedded code. This code is an HTML code that needs to be inserted into your website. And again, you'll notice the zeros. This means that we haven't saved this yet. So this code right now is not useful. As soon as you click save, these zeros will generate properly and you'll be able to input this code. So what's an example of embedded? Let's go to this website. There's a button here called Find a Program and Register it Online. I'm going to select this button. This is actually a program registration widget. However, it has the same function. It is an embedded widget that's located on their website. So you can see that their website, they have their header, they have their buttons, and then they have a title here, and then they have their selection of courses and programs. So here we can scroll through the organization and we can select any category or calendar, such as aquatics programs that we're interested in. When we select that, we still remain on their website, and we can see that we have filters on the left here, and we have services on the right here, and we can look at what programs they have. This is a good example of facility booking or program registration widgets that are embedded. We're still on their website. We haven't linked to another website. If we go to adults and adult classes, And there's a completely different widget that's been designed that only shows adult classes. We can see here that the widget has now populated, and now it's showing again adult category, all the calendars that are available, and then if we select into one, we still remain on their website, and we are able to select additional programs and services through here. This is an example of an embedded website widget. So if we go back over here, this is a link which opens up to a new screen that takes you directly to Perfect Mind's website. And this is embedded, which means that we still remain on the client's website, except the widget itself is entered into the website. Embedded widgets definitely take a little bit more HTML knowledge than a simple button link. And depending on how you want to set up your website or redesign it, you can choose either or. It also needs to be noted that these both function simultaneously. Just because you selected one does not mean you can't select the other. So if you want to have, let's say, a widget that's embedded on one page, but also have a link, you can use both, simply by going back and forth and selecting either of them. So, in review, the widget properties, we turn it on, we give it a name that's internal, we give it a widget title, which is external facing, we choose if we want embedded, linked, or both, and then we take this code and we either paste it into a button, or we take this code and we paste it into the HTML of the website itself. So let's look at the additional options here. We have display options. The majority of the facility booking widgets are hard-coded, and there isn't much customization that we can do to them. They've been generated specifically for the purpose of facility booking, so the display options here are not actually relevant, but it does need to be noted that the booking button is a required field. In the case of program registration, whatever we place into this area is what's going to display online for program registration. So in this case, I'll write register. However, it does need to be noted that this label does not apply to facility booking. The booking buttons on facility booking are done on the facility level, which we've already discussed. However, because this is a required field, if I attempted to save without a value, it would simply give me an error and I have to come down here and enter something. But again, it needs to be noted that the book button label is not for facility booking, and whatever value you put in here, if this is a facility booking widget, will not be displayed. The next item is show locations to show. You can limit a facility booking widget to only apply to locations that are relevant. So in this case, if we're doing meeting rooms and the meetings are only at 2 locations, we don't need the widget to give us options for all locations. So if you go to locations to show, we can scroll here and we can unselect everything and then select only 2 locations that we want. Now, only facilities that are at the Downtown Community Pool and the Perfect Mind Community Center will display online if those facilities are also set to public. Any facility that's at the other 3 locations, even though set to public, would not display online because the widget is not showing those locations. If you want all locations, simply select the top checkbox here and they're all selected. The last area here, advanced calendar settings, again applies to program registration, so there really is no information that is required here. The only one that should take effect here is the display booking button. If this is not selected, the widget should not operate correctly. So to be on the safe side, we want to make sure that the display booking button is enabled. Custom CSS. This is an advanced HTML tool that allows you to make a widget look similar to your website. So for instance, custom CSS allows you to take a widget. Let's go back to the example. So let's say this website here was blue, but we have a white widget. What's going to happen here is that we'll have a blue background and then the widget will be a white box. The custom CSS allows you to take this widget and customize the color and display pattern so that it looks more like your website. So it embeds better. The custom CSS is primarily used for embedded code, however it would work with the linked code as well. It does require someone with HTML knowledge and custom CSS knowledge to be able to work with these settings. If you navigate to help.perfectmind.com and do a search for custom CSS or just CSS, you will find a knowledge database that will assist you. But it does need to be noted that custom CSS is an advanced feature that is not technically supported by PerfectMind support. It is something that's internal that has to be set up with your organization. But we'll do our best to help you, and we have a help article that will assist. The next thing you need to note is the calendars. So we've set up a widget, we've activated it, we've given it a name, we have links or embedded codes which will be generated. We disregard most of the settings here except for the booking button. And then we select the calendars and services that we want. So you'll notice the first area here is appointments. We're not interested in that, so I'm just going to collapse it. The next is classes and courses. These are related to program registration, so we're going to collapse these because we don't need them. And then we have facilities. Because we're working with facility booking widgets, this is what we're looking for. If you want facilities to appear online, you have to checkbox the calendar and/or the service. So in this case, we have our administrative and maintenance calendars. Well, we don't want these to be online, so selecting these is not what we want. So we want to ensure that these are not selected. The next thing that we had here was arena rentals, excuse me. Well, because this facility booking widget was only for meeting rooms, we don't want to select these, so we're going to keep these unchecked. The next area we have is facility booking. This is where we had court rentals, park rentals, pool rentals, and room rentals, as well as sports field rentals. You'll note that the structure here is the exact same as if we went to advanced reservations. Oh, got logged out there. Let me just log back in. So again, you will note that court rentals, park rentals, pool rentals, room rentals, and sports field rentals follows the same path that we have already in our structure under advanced or under reserved facilities. We have court rentals, park rentals, pool rentals, and room rentals, as well as sports field rentals. And then for each one of those, we also have the corresponding services, which is also shown over here. So let's say we only wanted a widget for meeting rooms. Well, I can simply come down here and select meeting rooms. Now, only the facilities that are attached to the service meeting rooms under the room rental calendar will appear. Let's say I also wanted to include multi-purpose rooms and meeting rooms. I would simply select both. Let's say I wanted to select everything that's under the room rental calendar. I can select the whole calendar. Once I select the whole calendar, I can simply go back and unselect the ones that I don't want. So now we have a widget called Meeting Rooms, which is going to use either a link or embedded tab that's only going to show the facilities that are attached to the service meeting rooms that are available for online reservation through widgets. Once we've done this, simply click Save. Once you've clicked Save, check for any errors. They'll be highlighted in red. Let's see if we've forgotten anything. And we have not. The only red on the screen is a description of the CSS here for advanced users. So once we save it, you'll note that if I go to the link, we now have a code here. If I go to embed, we have code here. Now these links and embedded code can be used on your website. If you want to see what it looks like, simply click Preview. Clicking Preview will open up a new tab. If we've done everything right, a preview of the room rental should show up. And here you'll note that we have a preview. It is successful. We have a picture of the facility map, and we have 3 facilities set up here. The reason this is displaying like this is because we have a facility map. Click Choose. And we have our facility map set up here. So it is working correctly. If you have any additional questions about setting up widgets, please do so in your weekly meeting with your implementation specialist.